Good morning. For today's lesson, we will be discussing Mark chapter 10, verses 42 through 45, which reads, So Jesus called to them and said to them, You know that among the Gentiles, those whom they recognize as their rulers lord it over them, and their great ones are tyrants over them. But it is not so among you. But whoever wishes to become great among you must be servant, and whoever wishes to be first among you must be slave of all. For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. As we move through this passage, we notice a major theme emerge. This theme of the passage is living our lives as Christ lived. This is broken down to discuss how Christians should become servants of God just as Christ did. In verse 42, Christ used the Gentile leaders as examples of how not to serve. The leaders of the Gentiles had no want or need to serve those who they led, or lead by example. Christ, on the other hand, sacrificed his life for us. He came to serve mankind and show them, through his example, how to live a life that would glorify God. Jesus is telling us how we can become great in the eyes of the Lord. Verses 43 and 44 state, But it is not so among you. But whoever wishes to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wishes to be first among you must be slave of all. Here, Christ is telling us to become great and to please the Lord. One of the greatest callings as a Christian, and one of the best ways to please God, is to spread his message. Part of this calling, and part of the Christians being called to serve, comes directly from Christ in the form of the Great Commission. Matthew chapter 28, verses 19 through 20 read, Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you to the very end of the age, because we are called to live as Christ, we are called to spread the word, and told that we will also have God's guidance. Verse 45 discusses how Christ made the ultimate sacrifice for us with his life. We are called to make sacrifices in order to spread this message and God's message throughout the world. Now, you may be wondering how you, as high schoolers, can take this message and apply it to your own lives. Well, there are several ways that you could try to do this. The first thing that you could do is to ask the church's leadership to help organize a trip to local soup kitchens after church. You can go help feed the homeless and let them know that God will supply them with what they need. This way, you are connecting with the community, you are helping to serve those in the community, and you are also doing the work which is required in the Great Commission. Another thing that you could do is to talk to your youth group leaders about organizing mission trips during the summer. You could raise funds through bake sales, car washes, and other ventures. You can use these mission trips to serve those local and abroad. You can help them rebuild what they have lost, and you can help them build up from when they had nothing. You can show them God's grace and kindness. By doing so, not only are you serving them, but you are taking time out of your own lives, making a sacrifice, living as Jesus did, and living your life to glorify God. And by helping on mission trips, the people you touch may have their hearts opened up, and you will also be able to be doing the work that is required of the Great Commission. Through this passage in Mark, we are given good and bad examples of how to live our lives to glorify God, and how to honor the example that Jesus set down for us. We are shown the example of the Gentile leaders who did not want to lead by example and did not want to serve those that they led. We are also given the example of Jesus' sacrifice for mankind. While we are not called to literally lay down our lives on the line, we are called to make sacrifices within our own lives to help spread God's message and serve those around us. If we can do all these things, we will be living as God commands, and we will receive the blessings of the Lord throughout our lives.